started the live.
Oh no.
Oh, never mind. We're live. Nice job.
Oh. Hello.
Okay, we're not talking. There we go. We'll put that there for now.
Okay.
I guess. We're having technical difficulties. We
I
don't
think
know how
it's-
to operate technology properly.
Or Facebook.
Or anything, pretty much.
I think we're just gonna go with good enough.
Yeah, good enough.
Good enough.
Our janky setup. This is a live, so there's nothing professional about it. But anyway.
Okay.
Welcome to our live one viewer.
I'm Renee.
And I'm Jada.
And
Her
I'm
daughter.
Mom.
And I'm daughter. And today,
We're here to talk about my book,
yes.
A Parent's Guide to Supporting Children in Learning at Home. And so it's a quick guide to use the most highly effective practices in teaching and learning, and it's written for parents. And so I wrote it last August.
You whipped through that thing. It was 3 days.
My 3-day masterpiece. I wanted to just put all of the essential teaching practices in a book for parents to be able to reference, knowing that they were now taking on the role of teacher.
But
more
not
so.
just parents. It's definitely helpful for students as well, I would say. There are certain key elements in here that I found helpful that I think could be applied to students as well.
It warms my heart to know you read parts of the book.
I read parts of it.
but now she's going to read all of it because
Yeah.
we're reading it aloud,
Mm-hmm.
one chunk at a time on Facebook Live.
Yes.
So if you're interested, feel free to tune in because we will be slowly moving through the entire book.
Yes.
So,
Excited.
is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Should we just dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay. I'm sure you'll have lots to say as we go. So we're calling this a confessional because I did not do this very well
No.
when Jada was young. And we had a lot of tears, a lot of anger, a little bit of yelling.
A little bit. A lot of it.
And it was definitely not my best
Version?
professional self.
Yeah.
I've been a special education teacher for over 20 years. And I did not bring best teaching practices home with me when you were young.
Yeah. I think the anxiety was amplified, though, with me.
My anxiety
Yeah.
over your future,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And I would say some of this I didn't know. Some of it I hadn't internalized yet. Like I might have known it on the surface, but not really internalized it. So it was part of what I do across the board
Regularly,
with
yeah.
every child. And even my mother, when she read the book, said that it would have saved she and I so much strife if she would have had this information before when I was young.
Interesting.
Yeah, right? So, today we're just going to go through, read the welcome,
Okay.
and then the first chunk.
KK.
So, the book is set up in small little pieces, topics that are really easy to read, like 1 or 2 page topics. So, we're just going to whip through that today.
Okay. Sounds
All right.
good.
So, the beginning. Welcome, parents. In these I can't talk.
Challenging.
In these challenging times across the planet, many parents are being thrust into the role of teacher. As a parent myself, I know how difficult it is to teach your own child. I'd like to try to help. In this book, you will learn the basic elements of instruction that will empower you to teach your child concepts using research-based strategies proven to be the most highly effective. My name is Renee Samuels, and I am a wife, mom, special education teacher, and teacher consultant. I'm highly trained in teaching teachers the most effective instructional practices and teaching students the most effective study routines. My expertise is in how to support struggling learners. I have a master's degree in special education with certifications in cognitive impairments, learning disabilities, and elementary education. And I have over 20 years of experience teaching special education as an elementary, middle school, and high school resource room teacher. Most importantly, I have 2 children, 1 boy, age 13, and 1 girl, age 18, at the time it was written, now 14 to 19, who are very different learners. One of them picks up academic concepts very easily, and the other one spent years just learning how to learn. One of them will employ every strategy I offer, and the other has no interest in listening to how I can make learning easier and more effective. My approach with each of them is very different, but the guiding foundational principles of teaching and learning are the same. Some children will be more willing to learn from their parents than others, but every child needs an active parent involved in their learning. Each child is different, and there is no one-size-fits-all approach to teaching. So I preface this guide by encouraging you to customize and individualize these strategies to meet the needs of your own children. Who is this guide appropriate for? Anyone teaching children. All parents, regardless of the age or learning environment. Educators, tutors, you name it. Whether you are supporting your child in a hybrid virtual learning program, full-on homeschooling, or you just want to provide extra support outside of the brick and mortar building, this guide can be used to proactively set the stage for learning or reactively problem solve why a child may be struggling. There's a lot of useful information in these pages that applies to anyone teaching anything to anyone, but it can easily become overwhelming if trying to implement everything all at once. Becoming a master teacher is a combination of art and skill that is a lifetime journey. Be patient with yourself and start small. Choose one or two strategies to implement and give yourself time to get comfortable with them before adding something new. I am a certified explicit instruction trainer, a trained peers making peace facilitator, a certified instructional consultation teams facilitator, and I am trained in many academic and social emotional programs and practices. I am even certified, or we are even certified, in the psychology of well-being, also known as the science of happiness, through Yale University on Coursera. And yet, I can still relate to the struggle of trying to teach your own children. My sincere hope is that by sharing the fundamentals of teaching and learning, I can help reduce frustration for all and increase student success.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That's my goal, to make it less painful for others than it was for us. It got better. We got better by middle school.
Because I was handling my business by middle school. I feel like it was like elementary school was a little more of a struggle. I tell people, like, honestly, like, my hardest years were elementary school. And people are like, are you for real right now? I'm like, I swear, I would not want to go back. I loved middle school, the homework and stuff like that. Like, I feel like we laid the groundwork in elementary school, and all the struggles were really concentrated in those, like, 4 years. And then once
And I would almost reduce it to 2. Like, I think first grade wasn't too bad.
It was
second grade.
It was, no, first grade. We're
okay.
including first grade.
Okay.
First grade. Kindergarten. All of it was a little.
Was kindergarten rough?
Kindergarten was a little. I mean, like, learning. Yeah, it was. Like, I remember feeling more anxiety in a way in like kindergarten, and like feeling dumb compared to everyone else.
So was that mostly? And
like struggling with you on like counting Cheerios and stuff like that. Like, that was also.
You've got so many more memories than I do. Like, I only have the highlights in my brain from back then. Yeah, no, I feel like kindergarten through, I think once 3rd and 4th grade, nope, even 3rd and 4th grade was a little iffy, but then once 5th grade hit, like 4th grade, near the end of 4th grade, I started taking it a little more seriously, but it was still a struggle, and then once 5th grade came around, it was, like, I got a little more confident, and then started taking more ownership, and then 6th grade hit, and I was off and running. That's the big thing, ownership over your learning. Yeah, that was what made that was struggle. The cause of a lot of our arguments. Yeah. Is you not wanting to take ownership over learning. Like, you're going to let the information go by. Like, whatever, I'm dumb, it is what it is. Yeah, that was kind of your attitude. And we get to that section. There's a part of the book that says engagement, empowerment, and ownership over learning. It's the longest section in the entire book. Makes sense. Why? Okay, so we're going to start with what do you do before learning? So the book is broken down into before learning, during learning, and after learning. So under before learning, there's preparing for instruction. Now, I was not homeschooling. I wasn't in a hybrid learning environment trying to teach you on Zoom. And I think a lot of people are confused with, like, why do I have to teach my child? Like, I mean, I feel like you were way more invested in teaching me at home, like, through homework and going with me than a lot of parents are. But it was fear-driven. Yeah. That was because I was a 6th grade resource room study skills teacher that worked with all of the students that struggled, and they would come to 6th grade and not have any basic skills in owning their learning and good habits. So I think I was like doing it out of a
Oh my
little
goodness,
more
very
worried
busy.
about what was going to happen to you if you didn't take
Do-
this on and own it and really have
Mhm.
the tools you needed to be successful by 6th grade.
Yeah.
So my intensity was probably
More engaged.
coming from fear
Yeah.
based on my job.
But yeah, so many kids need this support regardless. Like, even kids who catch on fast later on down the line will need to learn how to learn.
Like your brother.
Like Aiden. Oh, Aiden.
Aiden could have nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah.
And yet, it would be so useful.
Yeah, but he catches on super fast, and so it's like he doesn't feel there's a need for it. But eventually, there's a lot of peers of mine who get to a point where that's why middle school and high school is so rough for them, because they're eventually getting to a point where, like, shoot, this isn't catching on fast. How do I even study? How do I learn how to learn? So
you had a friend that just went through that last in your 2nd semester this past year that needed you to come over and help him learn how to study.
Yeah. So many kids
At 19 years old.
Yeah. So high school is definitely, like, a lot of people are like, whoa, what's happening? Whereas that's why I say elementary, early middle school was harder, because I was learning those skills. But once I got those skills down, it was great. But you helped me learn those skills.
I'm glad
whereas
it was all worth
people
it in the
don't.
end. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what impacts learning? I just want them to see the triangle. Will you show them the triangle while I start?
Triangle.
All right, so there's a triangle in the center of this
In
page
case
that
you
you
don't
really
know
need
what
to
a
see the
triangle
visual.
looks like.
So you see student is on the
It's
top,
backwards.
and then, it's backwards.
I don't know. I can't tell. Yeah, I think it's backwards. But
Okay.
it's a student.
There's student on the top.
Yeah,
Instruction is on one side at the bottom,
that side.
and then task and environment is on the other.
There you go.
Okay, so you have a visual in your mind. So supporting your child in learning can be overwhelming. So understanding the 3 main parts that comprise student learning will help you understand what you have control over and what you can change. When learning breaks down, we can change the instruction, the task, and/or the learning environment to create an instructional match. So we can change the bottom of the triangle. That's what we have control over.
Okay.
What we don't have control over is the top of the triangle, and that's the student, right? And so an instructional match is when instruction, tasks, and environment are all working successfully to meet a student's needs. And so if we have an instructional match, we have success. And the goal is to tweak the way that you're teaching, or the way you're engaging with your child, or the task you're asking them to do, or the environment you're doing it in order to best meet the student wherever they are. Now, this seems very academic, but it applies to more than just school. So it could be teaching your child to brush their teeth or do the dishes. It is really easy to tell them how to do something and then send them on their way to do it and then be frustrated that they don't do it correctly. But typically, what that means is we didn't provide enough instruction. Even when we know the student is capable of doing it, or the child is capable, so maybe they know how to brush their teeth, but without your oversight, they just don't do it thoroughly. That's an instructional piece. So that just means that they need more support in that area of instruction because they haven't fully owned that task or that skill. All right, moving on. So the student. We have no control over our children, even if you think you do. And I promise you, it's not worth getting into a power struggle with them to prove me wrong. We have influence, we can nurture them, we can guide them, but we can't control them. Each student comes with different learning experiences, different skills, different strategies, and a different disposition. And they are who they are. Some are eager learners, some are resistant learners. Some pick up concepts easily, and others struggle with each academic step. It does not matter what type of learner you have. The strategies in this guide are universal and can easily be applied to all types of learners, even those who face the most difficult learning challenges. So we just let them be who they are and accept it.
And have to play to their
Strengths.
Yeah.
Play to their strengths. Then we have instruction. So good instruction requires intentionality before, during, and after the lesson. The more interactive the instruction, the more opportunity the student has to retrieve the information from his or her brain. This retrieval practice can help students organize information, practice skills, make connections, deepen understanding, and move new learning from short-term to long-term memory. And then we have the task. and the environment. So tasks or assignments, activities, projects must be aligned with the instruction. For tasks to be meaningful, students must be given independent work that is at their independent level. This means during instruction, the student must be able to independently perform the task at a high level of success without adult support to demonstrate they are ready for independent work. The environment. Every student needs a space devoted to learning that is clutter-free and has all of the essential tools needed for learning easily accessible. In addition to needing space for materials and a device, you'll also need additional space to work with paper and pencil. You know what's screaming at me right now is the incident we had the other day with the shower. Not the other day, it was a couple
when I broke the shower. When you broke the shower, because you didn't tell me how to work the shower.
Okay, so
that was an instructional error.
It was an instructional error. It was probably a couple months ago.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago.
So Jada, you needed to use my bathroom to take a shower, and I don't remember why.
Know why.
There was a reason. And our faucet is finicky, to say the least. So I explained to Jada from the living room what you need to do with the faucet.
So like turn it to the left or something like that.
I don't remember the exact directions.
The wrong direction.
They weren't thorough enough. And so instead of my environment being the living room, I should have moved to the bathroom and actually demonstrated for you.
I am a visual learner and a hands-on learner.
But what happened instead is I explained it orally. I sent you on your merry way. You took a shower.
I didn't take a shower.
You didn't even get in the shower?
I couldn't even get the shower. Yeah, I broke it already.
She broke the faucet. We couldn't turn off the water. It was kind of a disaster for a while. I was freaking out.
We couldn't stop the water from flooding the bathroom at first. And then eventually you got it, but you're like,
luckily
what'd you
I figured
do?
out because Dad wasn't home, and that's who I usually call.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, you can't take a shower in here anymore.
Right, like I was freaking out
you
because I was overwhelmed, but in actuality it wasn't Jada's fault at all. It was totally my fault because I didn't give her thorough instruction on how to use the faucet. And I wasn't in the right environment, and you definitely weren't at an independent level in doing this on your own.
No.
Like, you needed more coaching.
What do they call it? I learned that it's a psychology term. I forgot it. I'm not going to remember it. But there's a psychology term for, you know it. It's when
Describe it.
It's like you do.
I do, we do, you do.
Yeah,
I
but,
do, we do,
but
you
that's
do.
not,
I've got a chapter about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. But that's not a psychology term. It's the idea of when you're walking through scaffolding.
Scaffolding. Oh, look at you. I have chunk and scaffold in here, too. It's a chapter in my book.
Okay, so
I needed to scaffold your learning, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And we had a disaster.
And I think when I was younger, I don't recall I do, we do, you do. I remember you do and I yell. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad. There was only just key moments, but I don't remember it that much. I just remember the outcome.
I mean,
did you do, I do, we do, you do?
To a point, probably not with intentionality like I needed to. But I do remember, like, there was modeling. I would show you how to do things. I would give you
But I
demonstrations.
think by that point, I don't know. I think I was just so overwhelmed and so stuck with, like, I'm not going to get this, that it was no getting through at that point, regardless of.
That's the part that would infuriate me.
Yeah.
So you would shut down. Because the voice in your head was like, I don't know what she's talking about. I'm never going to understand this. This is too much. And you stopped listening. Yeah. So at that point, I could ask you 2 + 2, and you would just look at me like, what?
Yeah.
And then I would get really worked up. Yeah. Because you'd stop thinking. And then we'd clash.
And then that was the end of that.
Yeah, that definitely was the end of that.
So, environment, task, and breaks. I mean, like, I wonder, like, like, when you say environment, like, so you say making sure, like, I don't know, it's like nurture, it's good for learning, it nurtures learning or whatever, the task is at hand and things like that. Does that also...
Are you talking about time on task? Like how long you spend on a task?
Yeah.
That's in 2 more sections.
Okay, well, we'll get there next couple lives if we keep doing this. So. Yeah. Okay, don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah, so this was a decent introduction.
I guess that was a decent introduction. What time is it? It's late. It's time to go to bed.
Jada's done.
My attention span is very short, but this has been a very...
Maybe this is all the time that you have to spend on this, like your mental
My mental
cup runneth
stamina.
over.
Well, I mean, it is kind of late, but I mean, this has been fun. I appreciate you sharing this book with me, and
Okay.
I look forward to more readings.
Well, I do too, but I would say that we will be coming back within the next week, probably sooner than that. We're not very good about staying on a routine,
And it's
so we
summer.
don't have a regular day and time that we will
Yeah.
record, but it will be in the evening, and it will be at least once a week.
Yes.
But we will also put these on our website.
Yes. We have
So
to
people
figure out
can
how to
access them
download these.
When we figure out the technology, we'll put them on the website.
Yes. For sure. 100%. Okay, well, thank you for joining us. Again, if you don't know who we are, I'm Jada.
I'm Renee, and we're from Samuel Solutions.
Yeah,
That's
so-
the business we created. So you can find us at Samuel
I
Solutions.
should have added that on the description thingy.
You still can. Okay.
I know, I still can, but...
But you can find us at samuelsolutions.com.
Hi,
Mr.
Mr.
Gata!
Welcome to the live.
So good to see
I
you.
know, oh my goodness. Okay, so right now I have the link for your book in the description.
Oh, I should mention the webinar.
You should probably mention the webinar.
All
That
right.
would be a good idea.
So the part that I just read after the welcome, literally, the page with the triangle, and the next page. If you're interested in learning more about this, I just did an entire 11-minute webinar just on that section. And
Yeah.
so you can find the link to the webinar in the description,
Yes,
as well
it's in
as the link to
description.
purchase the book in the description, and then we will add the link to our website,
Yeah.
either in the
yeah,
description
yeah,
if we can figure out how, or in the comments.
Yeah. I can't figure out how. This isn't working. Your phone is very spazzy right now, and now I can't even... There you go. Okay, well, our website link is in our Facebook page, so if you got here, then you can easily get to our Facebook page and click on our website link.
And the
So,
book is available on Amazon.
Yes. Okay,
All right, thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching,
Goodbye,
and be sure to
guys.
tune in again.
for sure. Next week, sometime. We don't know. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.